We have more breaking news from the NHL draft. We have another substantial NHL trade. This one's a multiplayer deal from the Edmonton Oilers and the Detroit Red Wings. We'll discuss the full details coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some more breaking news. Another NHL trade broken at the NHL draft on day 2 here. The Edmonton Oilers and the Detroit Red Wings have hooked up on a multiplayer deal, both going from Edmonton to Detroit. So the Oilers are trading forwards Kyler Yamamoto and Klim Kostin to Detroit for nothing, for future consideration. So Yamamoto has just over $3 million, 1 year left on his contract. A lot of speculation he was going to become a salary cap casualty in Edmonton, possibly a buyout if they couldn't find a trade. But of course, they would much prefer to move the full cap hit and move on from that right away rather than have extra dead money on there for an extra year. So the buyout would have been cheap, but moving in full obviously much better. So clearly that's not too shocking. Klim Kostin, on the other hand, was a really good fit in Edmonton after they picked him up from St. Louis. He was a good contributor to the team and a player, like I said, who kind of found his game and probably had the most success we've seen him have in the NHL. Now, reportedly, the Oilers were going to have a really tough time signing him. They really got to a point where they just couldn't afford to keep him, I guess you could say. He also has an offer on the table to return to the KHL and Russia, and clearly if he's going to stay in the NHL, I would suspect he's going to want to make more money. So ultimately, the Red Wings all obviously like the player as well. Probably feel like they could offer him the contract he's probably looking for. We'll see if he stays, but he is unsigned right now and could go back to Russia, or he could be signed in Detroit. But either way, the Oilers have some things they need to do cap-wise, some contracts internally they need to look at. There's rumors they're looking at a few other upgrades around the team, and this is unfortunately just a part of the business where they had to free up some money. So after a good run, after being a high draft pick and good young development, and at times a good player, but often inconsistent, Yamamoto moves on, and Kostin, even though he had a good run in Edmonton this past year, just can't afford to keep him with the roster. So they both go to Detroit for future considerations. Yzerman, you can call it an Yzerman fleece again, but ultimately he's taking advantage of another team's camp situation. Clearly, Yzerman and Kenny Holland know each other very well, a long time working together, and obviously Yzerman as a player too. So certainly a long connection there, and we have ourselves a deal. I wonder how this impacts Detroit's ability to make other moves. Obviously, this is going to eat away at some of their cap space. I don't know that they're really as serious about getting Alex DeBrincat at this point, but things can change in a heartbeat. So let me keep you up to date here with all the news. We'll be posting more videos as more news breaks throughout the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.